first I want to say, do we have any questions about yesterday's assignment? Any questions whatsoever about yesterday's assignment, which was to create your cover photo or your cluster photo, however you want to reference it, your main photo. Does anybody have any questions about that assignment?
I did complete that photo, but I had a problem um, with the recipe cards. I couldn't get it to line up. I don't know what I was doing, but it just didn't work for me.
Okay, and you were using Canva?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I will tell you one of the things about Canva that I appreciate is you can increase the size. I'm just gonna choose poster. I'll choose flyer. Um, you can increase the size of your image here so that you can zoom in. It's
Oh, that's
not
where it's at.
acting right down here at the bottom. So if it's not acting right, you can't get things to line up. You might want to zoom in just a little bit down at the
Uh-huh.
bottom. Now the problem is this little thing goes from 0 to 2,015 seconds or 5 seconds. So it will zoom in very quickly, very fast, and so you have to zoom out, find your sweet spot. But the other thing, I'm just going to grab these because I'm just going to plug them in. When you're lining things up, I'm not going to not. Uh, I don't want this thing to be the whole thing. So see if I can grab the corners. Nope. That's only because I'm zoomed in. So when I'm zoomed out, I can do what I want to do. So hold on just 1 second. Let me delete this whole thing. Everything in pieces. That's fantastic. Just do undo, Nicole. All right, so up at the top, you can just do undo, whatever it is you were trying to do. So let me just find a card. Let's see if I can find a card. Okay, so I'm going to undo this, and I'm going to grab this. I don't want uh, none of them. Okay. I sometimes have to be gentle with this stupid thing. There we go. Yes. Jeez Louise. Let me just get a square. Okay, let me just go to elements and get a square because it's not going to do what I want it to do just because I'm trying to do something. Okay, I got a square. There we go. So when you are trying to put your images, like you have to figure out your sweet spot for your size. And once you figure out your sweet spot for your size, if you're doing 3 up, 2 up, so let's say because yours are ultimately going to be sort of recipe card, you'll find your dimensions and your size, and you'll notice that when I click on it, you'll see the little dimensions show. If I just hold the mouse down, it tells me what those dimensions are, and you can figure out what the dimensions are. Once you find your sweet spot for your cover photo, then you'll be able to grab your next one and make sure it's that dimension, or readjust it yourself by clicking on one of the corners. So I'm gonna just copy that and duplicate it because I don't want to deal with it again. And you'll notice that with Canva, it automatically tells me that is directly straight across. And so it makes it a little bit easier for me to put things, sort of almost perfectly in the right place. Not saying it's going to always be perfect, but it
Now, when
gets.
you're just, excuse me, when you're doing something like this, you're making 4 recipe cards. Is that what you're doing?
Well, ultimately, yeah. So the one thing about just making cards, whatever types of cards you're making, is that, and I'm not even, the whole square is not even the right dimension. But anyway, what happens is that when you create your listing, you're going to create your listing and tell people they have to, we're going to suggest that they print it on a specific type of paper, cardboard paper.
Mm.
And you can look up, you can just Google it, Avery flashcards. So there's Avery flashcards that already have the dimensions for you. So they can buy the flashcards, put them into their printer and print your design. and it's
Mm.
already perforated, and it will come out as a flashcard. So when I was saying like the last couple of days that you can do 4 to a sheet, or you can put 6 to a sheet, and in your listing, you'll definitely tell them which Avery product it is that they need to buy. Avery normally has a number that's associated with it. So it'll say, form number, blah, 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 whatever it is. So this one happens to be Avery 4785. So if your flashcards, when they get ready to print them, if they're gonna be this dimension and you want them 8 to a sheet, then you would tell them to use Avery 4785 when they get ready to print out your product. That's the printing side of your product. Now, the side of the product that we were initially talking about is just making your cover photo. So you can download your images and just do what you need to readjust it so that that cover image comes out and looks sort of uniform and looks, appealing to the eye, or, easy on the eye. So then that way, it's a product that would probably, that they might be interested in. So I'll move this down just a little bit, move this one down just a little bit. And so it sort of looks like I put my flashcards, and these are hypothetical flashcards. I put my flashcards onto a cover. So you design, first thing you do is you design the flashcards. Then after you design the flashcards, and you're going to download them as an individual image, standalone. To me, this is talking about making your cluster photo, which was yesterday's assignment. So you download it as an individual image, and then you re-upload it and put it into your images, and you can drag and drop those individual cards onto your cover photo. So this is the cover photo that people see when they come here. Or if they just put something in the search that says, smoothie recipe cards. So if they put in smoothie recipe, printable, downloadables, however, and I think yesterday when we looked at this, the only one that immediately came up on the first page that looked like cards was this one. They had this one, was just like postcards. And I don't see any other. So this is sort of recipe sheets. Whoops, didn't mean to hit that. My mouse is faster than I am. This one is a play set, that's cute. That's unique. These are recipe sheets. These are also recipe pages, but there's no recipes on them. I think we found one yesterday where there was actually recipes. This one. So I thought this one was pretty cool because they're actually, sort of a recipe shop kind of situation. They are sheets, but in order for them to create this cover photo, because this back of this photo looks like a fence. So you can drag and drop that in Canva. I could literally recreate this entire thing. So this back part is a fence, it looks like. This top orange part is just an overlay with a little bit of opacity. We won't get into opacity today, but I will talk about it in the future. And so that means that you can see it's partially see-through. There are spots of it that are partially see-through. These are just words. And then this is an element right here, which is an orange. This is another element that's a pineapple. And then these are the individual cards that they created. All of these are the individual cards. So your goal is first create the cards. And then once you create the cards, download them and then re-upload them so you can drag them into a picture. You don't have to have as many as they have. You literally could just have, 2 recipe cards, 4 recipe cards, whatever works for you as your example. Even though your entire recipe set may ultimately be 20 recipes or 25 or 15 or 10 or whatever, you don't have to put all 10, 15 on your cover image. So this is just a cover image. Did that make sense? Or did I go a different direction? Oh my gosh, me and this mouse. Did that make sense?
I'm a little slow. When will the videos be in a back office?
I think that Lyria may have already put them back there. I saw her uploading them yesterday. So I don't know. I think they might already be back. Some of them may already be back there. So you're going to go back and rewatch?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I'm a rewatch person.
And here's the deal. I look, this is a big deal for me for you to be successful. So if you need some help, just tell me, Nicole, can you come on 15 minutes early tomorrow? And I will come on and you and I can go through whatever whatever challenges you're having. We can go through it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So, and we can stay, I can stay, a little later today. So either one, I'm here for you. I don't think you realize how much I am here for you. So let me see if she's put any in there. So she put some of them, she's starting to upload them. So yes, it looks like
Okay.
she's starting to upload them. Yep. Yep. So there eComs, this the print on demand mastery, which is what you should see. And she's starting to upload those. So I don't think she has the first up yet, but she's staying on top of them. So that's good.
Hmm.
Okay. So does that help a little bit?
Okay. Thank you. Yes.
Okay. So let me go back to where I was. So think of this again as your cover photo. And if I'm thinking of it as a cover photo, you can see on this cover photo, they have a boatload of elements. And the thing I was trying to explain yesterday is yours does not have to be this busy. In my mind, this is super duper busy, but it's appealing to whoever is looking for it. Extremely appealing. Somebody is looking for this particular solution. So it's really eye catching and eye popping. What we're going to do is just a couple of levels lower than this, or a couple of levels more simplistic than this, only because I just want you to get familiar with two things. One, the platform of playing with the Canva tool, and two, Etsy. We can get into doing more complex when we get to stage two, but stage one is just all about, you know, every single day working on a listing, creating a listing, designing something, and then creating a cover photo for it. So it doesn't have to be super duper fancy. You can always come back and make it fancy later. And I think one of them that I showed yesterday, sorry, let me go here, was the two calendar pages. Like they didn't even have any words. They just had two, like here's one. This is, they only had, their cover is two cards. That's it. Two cards and whatever this is in the background. So I don't even know what this is. This doesn't even make me think of anything related to food. I don't know what that is. But again, they just have one recipe card and one that says directions and it has lines, and that's it. And that's their cover. So if you want to make yours as simplistic as that, have at it. You don't have to do anything complex right now. So I don't want you to overthink it. The goal is just to begin the process of being consistent every single day of creating a product. So Tony, what did you create today? Yeah, what did you create though? What was it? So today he did basketball equipment. He created flashcards for basketball equipment and camping what? Camping supplies? Camping activities. So camping activities, things you can do when you're out camping, and basketball equipment. That was it. He didn't do anything complex. And then we'll do a cover for those things, showcase like 2 or 3 of the cards on a cover image with a solid background, and that's it. Nothing hard. So I want you to not overthink it. I do want it to be as simplistic as possible. I don't know if that helped. Did that help at all? No? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me just resize this. Okay. So I'm trying to make my Canva cover. So if you only want to showcase 2 of your cards, just showcase 2 of your cards, which I think that's what we tried to do yesterday. I can get one of these to delete. There we go. And I think we just dragged some fruit. So I went and looked for elements for fruit. And we could do real fruit or we can do fake fruit. And we didn't do anything complex. We just something simple, maybe put some words on it or don't put any words on it. If people can figure out what it is that you're selling, so that's the key. Can they figure out what it is that you're showcasing or selling? If they can't figure it out, then you're going to have to change it up a little bit so they can figure out what it is that you're showcasing. So the question to yourself is, When you look at it, can you figure out what you were trying to showcase? If you can't figure it out, then they won't possibly be able to figure it out. But the great thing about this class is that you have some amazing people who are on here that are willing to support you and help you and say, you know what, I don't know what you're selling, or yes, I can figure out what you're selling, or I love your design and it's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so then that way, again, you're going to gradually get better at it. So if you think about the first time you ever rode a bike, like the first time all of us rode bikes, the majority of us, I'm not going to talk about those people that actually got on and rode off into the sunset, and we were all looking at them going, I hate you. I'm not talking about that person. We don't hate anybody, but you get what I'm saying. Like, okay, we have major envy. I'm talking about the majority of us that started that journey of riding a bike. We wobbled. We maybe tipped over a few times. Somebody had to hold the back end. It took us a while. We were, holding the handlebars. It was a little rigid. It's okay. It's all right. We were very slow going. Almost, it was amazing how the bike was even staying up as slow as we were going. So it's okay. That's where we all are together. And we will eventually, over time, get better and better and better at this journey. So you got this. You got this. Any other questions around just creating that cover photo? And if you haven't created, at least a couple of images that would go on the front cover, showcase photo, whatever, then create those first and then come back and do the cover. But any questions? You can ask. This is an open class. This is not a lecture class. This is a interactive class that's designed to help you succeed and win. So ask, please do.
Yeah, I have a question. Some
Okay,
of
go.
the fruit that you're posting is real, and some of it you can tell like it's like a animated.
Yep.
Does that make a difference on your sheets? Should you keep it all real fruit and keep it all?
I think that if you're going to go with real, then you probably should make sure that they're all real. And if you're not going to go with real, if you want to go with fake, you can. I think this one right here, they have realistic looking slices, but these are not real. So this is realistic looking orange slice, realistic looking watermelon, but I can tell that it's animated or art. This one looks like now that may be a real blueberry, but this one looks like a realistic looking strawberry. And this one looks like a realistic pineapple, but it feels like sort of cartoonish to me. So you can decide what you want to do. I think the only one that looks like it's actually a real piece of fruit is the blueberry, but that could be that it could be animated as well. So you can decide. But again, don't overthink it. This is super busy, and I'm not trying to have you create anything that's super busy today. I'm trying to have you maybe drag and drop 4 elements, maybe 6, and be done with it. And then we're going to do it again. We're going to rinse and repeat. We're going to rinse and repeat. We're going to rinse and repeat. By the time the 5th time we rinse and repeat, or 6th time we rinse and repeat, we're like, okay, I got it. Now I can do something more advanced. So we're just riding a bike. We're trying to get to the corner, to the stop sign, or stop whatever. We're trying to get to that street light. Then we're going to turn around. We're going to race back. Like, oh, I got faster. So, yeah. So you can, like I said, tomorrow you can come 15 minutes earlier. We can stay 15 minutes late, and we can dig into your specific one if you want to show your screen. You don't have to right now if you don't want to, meaning you don't have to show your screen because I'm recording. So I'm going to, even though the first 5 minutes, I'm sorry, guys, the first 5 minutes was probably all dead air. So that's totally my fault. All right. So on your listing, your cover, your cluster, your main photo, it matters. And again, we're doing something simple right now. We're not doing anything complex. And I will tell you on Etsy, some of the best sellers have simple images. So, you may actually end up keeping whatever you create, or you may decide to redesign it later and do something a little bit more. That's the great thing about Canva. You can always go back to your images. The next one, number 2, is optimize your SEO titles. So SEO titles is just such a I don't know. It's a word for some people that is just, what in the world is that? So I'm just going to tell you it's called search engine optimization. That's what it means. But I'm going to give you something different to think about. Your title should indicate what it is and what it's used for, or what it is and what it will do for the person. So, or how they will use it. So, an example, recipe cards make sense because they're smoothie recipe cards, and there's some additional words that we could potentially throw into the mix. We can be inspired by other people's listings so that we can grab those additional words that make sense to add to our listing. But a smoothie recipe card, I know exactly what that is. I know that it's going to be a recipe to make a smoothie and it's on a card. So it's not complex. If yours is more involved, um, then you're going to use more of the title space when you create your listing. So I want you to think about when you are about to create your title. You can also use eRank, and we're going to have just an exercise on eRank by itself, but or if you know how to use that, or you can use one of my favorite things as a hack is to use Google. You can also use the search engine for Amazon. You can use the search engine for eBay, or you can use the search engine for Etsy. So if I start typing in Etsy, I'm going to choose something completely different, something I haven't looked up yet. So I am going to type in, I don't know, craft. I've not done craft. So I know that I want to do a craft activity. So I start typing the word craft, CRAF, and I stop. So the great thing about the majority of search engines, the first couple of words are going to tell you what people are potentially searching for the most from a solution standpoint or from a product standpoint. So when people start typing the word CRAF without the T, the thing that comes up the most often that causes people to continue to take further action, searching for their ideal product, is crafts, craft kits, craft supplies and tools, craft supplies, craft kits for kids, craft kits for adults, craft kits for women. So you can see this, and then you see craft as VJ, which is like for printable designs. And then there appears to be a store, which may be super popular, crafts by SL and whatever the rest of that means, and then craft logo. So those are the words that are automatically coming up the most. So I know that crafts is clearly the word craft. If I'm making printable or creating downloadable designs that are to be used in crafts, I need to make sure that I have the word craft somewhere in my title, no matter what, because there's a bunch of different options that are coming up. If I'm making a printable, so I start with PR and I stop. So craft projects is one that is most searched on Etsy. It's the number one most searched that starts with PR. The number two most searched that starts with PR is printable. So I know that I potentially have an opportunity because it is the number two most searched on Etsy, which means I can get some organic traffic just because I'm number two, or whatever I'm selling is going to be number two. So I'm going to include the words craft and printable definitely in my title. No matter what, I can have a whole bunch of other stuff on my title, but I definitely got to include those two words, period, without even thinking about it, automatically. There's also print download. Download is one of the top 10 word combinations, or these are considered long tail keywords, but that comes up automatically in the default view. So these are the combinations that are coming up the most when it comes to the words craft and PR. So that means that my product, if I include those words, I'll at least satisfy the first part of whatever the search engine is going to look up to pull back. There's going to be other words that need to be included in my title and or description. There's also going to be tags that I would create in my listing. All of those are important. So again, you got to at least be able to say what it is that you're selling. If I am selling smoothie recipe cards, I need to have the words smoothie recipe cards in there. I can have a whole bunch of other words in there that are related to that, that tell how to use or what it's intended for, or how to change, like, what they are, like tasty is reflects or causes an emotion. So anytime that you can include words that are emotion related anywhere in your title or your description, or even in your image, then that also helps to attract people to your listing. So in my other classes that are not related to print on demand, like I use the example of a dog leash. And I talk about, selling a dog leash. And everybody's like, okay, well, why do I care about a dog leash? Well, there are people that are extremely passionate about walking their dogs. And some people are passionate about walking their dogs on the beach. And so one of the things that they may or may not want to do, some of those people that have small dogs, is they want to keep their dogs safe. Feeling safe, it's a feeling, it's an emotion. How do I feel about something? When I taste something and it's tasty, oh my gosh, this really tastes good. This smoothie tastes good. Or if I hear something, or if something feels fun or exciting, anything that is an emotion related word or a feeling related word is going to help get more eyeballs and help you with conversions on your listings. So as you are going through this exercise, think about, what you're listing. What are the things, the feelings or the emotions that people might have after either acquiring your listing or seeing your listing? So endangered species, like these are people that are extremely passionate about saving a species or saving, they are willing to go, I don't know, maybe protest, maybe not, maybe, go out and protect, but they're willing to take action. So there's going to be a lot of emotional action words that I might include potentially in my listing somewhere for those people that are passionate about it. Or maybe you go a different route and it's about, the fundraising or increasing the awareness, but there is an emotion that's associated with it. People host fundraisers just to increase people's awareness. They create campaigns around that. Or scriptures. So those are people who are interested in scriptures. They really want to have an emotional, deep connection with the Lord. They want to improve that relationship that they have with the Lord. So there's an emotion that's associated with that. So think about what your product is. That needs to be in the title. Potentially how people might search for it, how they might use it, or how it might make them feel, and jot down some words that are associated with that. I'm not saying you're going to use all of those words, but some of those words are going to be helpful to make your listing stand out long term. So in talking about all of that, I literally covered like 3 different things at one time, but I know you'll see that in just a second. So I don't want you, again, to overthink this. I just want you to do a brain dump initially, and you can come back and figure out which words you want to extract from your list of your brain dump. But again, what are the ways that the SEO is going to be? What are the ways? What is this thing? How might it be used? Or what are the ways in which people might be searching for it? Or how it might help improve, change a person's life? So those words, write them down, and then come back to that. Come back to that later in your title and or description, but we're just going to jot them down now. Number 3 is research your competitors and learn from their mistakes. Definitely. So, I looked at that recipe card that I felt like they probably have some great recipes, but the images that they have, like, you could make something better. So that would be learning from a person's mistake. They have a lot of stuff on there and it's super busy, and it doesn't mean that they're not getting any sales, but you can tell that they have low competition. So here's the great thing. Visually, when you type in, we already saw it, smoothie recipe printables or recipe cards. There's not a lot of competition. If we were to look at all of them, that was pretty much like there was the main one. So that means that Teresa is going to be able to run with the bulls in Pamplona because she has almost no competition. Whereas Charlotte's idea of scriptures, she's going to have some competition. So she's got to figure out how she's going to stand out. And that's okay. But she can learn from her other competitors, look at their listings, look at their titles, look at their descriptions, and use that to her advantage. Help her to make a better cluster photo and be inspired by maybe extracting some of the words that she's finding in common in all of the other listings, which is the thing that I teach my VAs. I'm like, go look at 20 other listings. What's the words that they are putting in their titles that are the common words? And so my VAs will come back. They'll go look at 20 listings in the Amazon top 10. And because we also sell on Amazon, but they'll go look at 20 listings in the Amazon top 10. And they'll come back and say, okay, the 20 listings that were in the Amazon top 10 for this particular category, I found these were the common words. And they'll come up with like 8 common words. I'm like, okay, we need to make sure our title has at least those 8 common words, no matter what. No matter what, at least have those. And then we can build around that. What are our additional words that we want to add to our listing? And then in the description, what are the other words that they have that are the common words? And then we can build on top of that. Let's extract some of the common words. So if you're in a category where you got a lot of competition, then you have an opportunity to go and analyze and review your competitors, see if you can make better images, better pictures, whatever. And okay, and hold on just a second. I think we lost somebody. I gotta let somebody in. There you go. I think we're nope. Again, I gotta figure out why this is so complicated. But anyway, better pictures, better images, better everything. And then see if there's something you can do about it. So if there's something you can do about it to make yours better, make yours stand out more, make yours look more enticing, more interesting, more intriguing, then do that. So research your competitors and be inspired by them, but don't copy them. Number 4, show your product in use or appeal to your customer's imagination all the time. So, I grabbed a smoothie cup because of the fact that we're talking about smoothie recipes. So showing a smoothie, we could have put a picture of a blender in there. We could have put a blender with fruit around it. So that's the great thing about Canva is I could have stacked the images. I could have put the blender in the back and then put the fruit all around it in the front. And that would be cool. That's sort of an in use indirectly. Or you can actually superimpose a picture, have a picture of a person in the background doing a blender smoothie. Now, we talked about the whole copyright, blah, 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 commercial use. So I try to eliminate pictures or images that actually show a person's full-on face, because I don't have time to go do a whole bunch of research. If it's just showing your hands, you're going to have a less of a chance have to deal with that later. So as we already read all of that stuff before, we know that, Canva does not guarantee when it comes to, an actual person's face, even though that person may have signed up to say, I want to be a model, blah, blah, blah. So I eliminate that. So show your product in use if you can in that cluster photo, or appeal to the customer's imagination. Help them imagine how they might use your product, how they might use their product to improve their life, change their life, simplify their life, make it better, whatever the case may be. Make your descriptions as detailed as possible. Absolutely. So if yours is a card, a flashcard, you need to make sure that you include the fact that we suggest when you read other listings, you're going to see this. So I'm just going to tell you, as you go through and read other flashcard listings, you're going to see that they're telling you that we suggest that you print this on cardstock. We suggest that you use Avery, blah, blah, form, or, template number, blah, blah, blah. So then that way they know exactly how to get the end result that they're looking for by printing it out on that cardstock and just ripping it out versus using scissors. So include the details. And you can include some of those emotional phrases or words on how this might improve their life. You'll say, okay, simplify your day-to-day, activities, I'm trying to think of, so a smoothie is designed to help me potentially, if I'm on the go, and these smoothie cards, because she's talking about 3 ingredients, these are great for people on the go. Write that in the description. These 3 ingredient recipe cards are perfect for those people that are on the go. Busy moms, busy, entrepreneurs, busy, if you're always on the go, then this is perfect for you. Another thing is that the smoothie card, the 3 recipe smoothie card might be great for kids, making it easy for kids to make their own smoothies. Again, something to show how my life is going to change or improve because of the fact that I use this product. Simplified, streamlined. I don't have to spend a bunch of time at the grocery store. So that's another thing that I might say. I don't have to spend hours at the grocery store buying groceries. I can grab 3 ingredients and go. So use that, put as much detail in your description as possible, but also talk about how this is going to improve or change their lives as you are building this listing. This is going to potentially help your listing stand out a little bit more as you start to analyze your competitors. You may stand out a little bit more because of it. Number 6 is, give your shop a catchy name. That we're not going to get into the weeds about today, but eventually, you want to come up with a name that you feel like you like. You can change it, but as your starting point. So if you're just now getting to the place where you're creating your Etsy shop, don't harp on the name. Please don't be paralyzed by it. Just continue to work. Come up with something simple to start with, and always change it later as you build out your brand and whatever it's going to look like long term. Tell your story in the bio. Again, putting that extra information about whatever your journey is. So maybe if I were to take Teresa's idea and I were to expand on it, let's say that because I'm recovering from COVID, and so one of the things I said I was going to start doing was doing smoothies. This is a fact. This is not new. This is like not new information. I could say that these smoothie recipes helped me on my COVID recovery. That is going to resonate with somebody. Somebody's going to be interested in that. And for that reason alone, they may actually decide to buy my recipes over anybody else's. So again, something simplistic, not too hard, nothing complicated. I don't have to spend hours in the kitchen chopping up stuff, peeling stuff, rinsing stuff. Like, I'm not in there for hours. I'm literally going down to the kitchen, spending 5 minutes to make a smoothie. I'm done. That kind of thing. So that's, later. We're not focused on that right now. Do something to set yourself apart. And that's what I talked about before. Some of the things where you are eliciting emotion or feeling or things that are action related are definitely going to help you to stand out if your competitor is not taking advantage of that. Number 9, think about bundle opportunities or ways to increase your order quantity. So maybe she has 3 or 4 sets of recipe stacks. She's got a whole, she's selling 10 recipe cards for fruits, 10 recipe cards that are vegetables, and 10 recipe cards that are fruits and vegetables. Now she has the opportunity. She's selling them individually. She has the opportunity to get 3 different sales. So that's going to increase her average order value over time. We're not starting off there today. Don't overthink it. But at some later point, that may be an opportunity. So like for Tony's, we're going to start off selling the alphabet. We're going to sell the numbers. Then we're going to do a combination of selling the alphabet and the numbers together. So we're going to create a listing that shows the alphabet, the numbers, and then the 2 together. We'll do colors and we'll do shapes. So we'll sell the colors by themselves, and we sell the shapes by themselves. And then eventually we'll sell something that has the colors and the shapes together. So again, you don't have to start off there. You can eventually get there to where you can increase the average order value over time. And of course, we're building baseline products so that we can eventually get to our end game or long game, which is to sell a low content book or sell a KDP book. List regularly. Number 10, I cannot stress this. So the reason I did the challenge is because I know for a fact, unequivocally, that if you create listings every single day on Etsy and also on eBay, that the algorithm likes that. Putting up a new listing every single day, even if it's a variation of the existing listing, that will help you. So offering the 10 recipe cards, and then tomorrow, come up with 2 more. So you create another listing where you're doing, or 5 more listings, and you're doing 15 recipe cards. And you do another listing where you're doing 20 recipe cards. The algorithm likes new listings, and the algorithm loves campaigns or sales. So those people that get consistent sales in their stores over time, the reason that they're doing that is because they're either creating consistent listings and or they're offering a consistent sale every single time. The one thing about the algorithm that eBay and Etsy uses and some of the other platforms is that when someone is offering a sale, they show it to you. They show it to buyers. They showcase it. So take advantage of the fact that the platforms love to showcase sales because they know that their buyers are looking for deals. But again, that's something for later. So hold number 11 in your pocket for later. So the objective of this challenge is for you to create a listing every single day. No matter what, nothing complicated, nothing hard for the first 2 weeks. So what questions do you all have? I did go over the time and I'm sorry about that. Are we still here? Is everybody still here? Hello?
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here.
All right. I just want to make sure. All right. So what questions do we have? Nothing? Nothing. All right. I'm going to fly through these slides real quick and then we'll talk about listings again tomorrow because we didn't get to where I wanted to. So I did include, these are going to be slides that you'll see in your back office, is I did include like walking you through, and these pictures were taken, I think like a year ago. So I'm sure Etsy probably changed. Maybe one or two things might be different now, but so anyway, adding a listing, you're going to start with add a listing. And the first section that you're going to see in Etsy is where you're going to upload your images. Again, long-term, bigger picture, you do want to have multiples. Having a singular is not always the best unless you plan on running ads all the time. So having multiples is a good thing. It's not a bad thing, even if it's one picture, okay? You also have the opportunity to upload a video. The great thing about Canva is you can turn your images, all the images in your slide, into a moving video. It's not really a video, but it is a moving image, a moving photo story. So upload that video. Take advantage of all the things. People are interested in videos. I'm not going to say I understand that. You literally could show them slides and then show them the video version of the slides, and they will pick the video version of the slides over the stills any day. So it's been proven time and time again. So I'm just giving you that heads up. The great thing is Canva will allow you to convert your stills into a moving video. So there you go. Then you have your title and who was it made for. So all of these are things that you're going to fill in as you begin to create your listing. And you're going to put it in the right, the category for your specific product. Also, for your store, you have the ability to like create additional sections. But the one thing that I want you to make sure that you pay attention to is that you're creating a digital product. So certain fields are going to show up when it's digital versus certain fields are going to show up when it's physical. I think when I was going through this exercise, it was a physical product. So I'm not going to see all the fields. I'm going to actually see the fields for physical. So when it is digital, this section looks a little different. You'll have the description, and then it's going to ask you a couple of different questions. So I'll make sure I come back and put those slides in here because when I did this was a physical product. But this will help you as we transition in to stage 2 or 3, where you actually have physical products that you're selling from print on demand suppliers. So you'll be able to put this stuff in. You will have a tags section. That's extremely important. And they'll also ask you what your product is made of. So you'll need to make sure you populate that as well because you're doing a downloadable. Again, all of this is related to a physical product. And we will talk about your shipping policy and things like that, policies you'll need put in place. And then at the very bottom of the screen, what you'll see is a place for you to publish it. But before that, on your printables or your downloadables, when it's digital, you'll have a box right about here where you're actually going to upload your product. So you're going to download your product, and you can download it in, it can be a zip file if you're going to do PNG or PDF. A lot of them are probably going to be downloadable PDFs. You'll see that when you look at your competitors. And so you will upload it somewhere around here, and then you'll click publish. So I just wanted you to know about some of those fields and as a starting point for you. So tomorrow's assignment is to start the process. You can always create your listing as a draft. Start the process of creating your listing. Now that you have a cover photo, let's create some secondary, third, and fourth photos, and let's work on creating a listing. This week, week 2, is all about, let's see if we can get 4 or 5 listings up on Etsy this week. So our goal is to get 4 or 5 listings up on Etsy before the end of this week. It's Monday. We can do this. We can. So I will come on early 15 minutes tomorrow, so we stick to our 30 minutes. If you need some help, I am more than happy to help you. So I'll be here at 5:45 tomorrow. And
I'll be there too.
okay. And then I can help you with whatever you can show your screen before I start recording.
Okay.
All right. So I'm sorry I didn't give you guys work time. I apologize. And tomorrow we're going to continue down this path on listings. So if you don't have any questions, with that, I'll say goodbye for now, but I'll be here early tomorrow to answer any questions and to help you if you're stuck somewhere. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Good
Thanks.
night.
Bye, guys.